Ready to go?
Oh, we're ready?
Okay.
I'm gonna try not to sound like a total valley girl.
Like all these people are just blending into one. I'm just holding on to you.
First of all, thanks for coming on to the BISH interview.
Yes, thanks for having me.
I do all my podcasts recording regularly, and then everyone was like, I want to see the girls, I want to see you do it, like post the videos, and I was like, I don't even record them.
I love
so
that.
I feel like you were perfect to start this off with. Also, you just literally are the epitome of like an BISH girl. Like, you came up on my Instagram, I was like, oh my god, I love her. I scrolled more, I was like, I love her even more.
Yay.
We got on a call, and then you just like had so much to say about like empowering girls, being an BISH, like wanting to, first of all, having the guts to like follow your dreams. Two, like wanting every girl to succeed, not being like competitive. And I just feel like those are like two key things that I want BISH to like be the epitome of. And so thank you for that and for coming on. But it's fun because
I feel like you're the epitome of that.
Oh my god, no. Well, my goal is to like share every girl's story because I like obviously I have my own, but like I don't want to say that over and over and over again, and I want to hear what like everyone else has to say and has been through.
That's beautiful.
So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
First of all, I was like, where the hell is Disco Shrine from? Like, where does the name come from?
So, Disco Shrine, it was kind of inspired by, at the time, I was with a friend, and he was telling me that he wanted to make this, like, basically, like, break a mirror and, like, create this amazing, like, shrine of broken mirror pieces. Yeah. And at the time, I was looking for a name. I definitely was like...
Was this like a few years ago, or...?
This was a few years ago.
Okay.
This was when I first wrote Shy. So Shy was the first song that ever came out. We have a video of it on YouTube that you can check out. And so I know I had the song, and I know that I wanted to do this, but I didn't know, like, what I should call myself. Yeah. Jessica's cute, but, like I don't know if that's a good artist name.
Yeah.
And so as soon as he told me that story, I was like, oh, my gosh, like a disco shrine? And then the rest is history.
That's so cute. I love it. It, like, stood out to me in, like, a second.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. It's really fun because my background is in folk. Like, my musical background, I started playing guitar and banjo and tambourine, and I used to be this, like...
You wouldn't think that.
It's so... I know. I'm like a 180, but some of my old friends are like, you sold out. But the truth is that, like, I used to be a hippie child, and I wore, like, long floral dresses and crazy wobbly hats, and that's who I was back then. But it got to a certain point where I was like, okay, this is really fun, and I love this music, but... You know, I got tired of playing shows and people just looking sad. I wanted to spread music that made people happy and made me happy, and
100%.
Disco Shrine was kind of the start of that. And so I think it was perfect because the name, going back to it, it's all about, like, having fun, but also, like, embodying who you are. And,
exactly.
So.
Do you feel like it's your alter ego, or do you feel like you are a Disco Shrine?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
I think at first it started like an alter ego. Yeah. Definitely, I think my personality is a lot more bubbly than I let people see normally online. But I think I've definitely leaned into it more, especially since I dyed my hair blonde. I know that's a weird thing to say.
No, I've always felt that when you do like a physical change, you instantly, I don't know, it like gives you better confidence, and you're like, I always say like, I'm going to chop my hair off and just like be a cooler person.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. I used to be a brunette, and it was so fun, and Disco Shrine was like my fun alter ego, and then when I went blonde, I was like, I am Disco Shrine.
I love it. I love that. So you went from folk, and then you're like, this is my new...
Yeah, and then I never looked back. I still make sad music on guitar, like at home, like when a boy breaks my heart, but so I keep that for myself.
I love that. And you just dropped a new song.
Yeah.
Turn the Lights Out.
Turn on the lights.
And I was like, listening to it, which is so good, by the way.
Thank
you.
I
was like, as a creative, I don't know the first thing about making music. Like, if someone was like, go make a song right now, I probably would, like, you know, like start off with like lyrics, but I don't know anything about it. So I just want to hear, first of all, what's the whole process from like thinking of the song, getting it produced, like where does it start?
I love that. So that's kind of a hard question because I feel like it's so different for everybody. But in my experience, I think it usually starts with an idea or a feeling. Like, I tend to write my best stuff when something crazy happens in my life.
Big.
Yeah, or like when I'm really emotional. But usually when I am in those feels, I'll take out my notes, or like I'll take out my notebook and I'll just write my ideas down, write my feelings down.
Do you like keep one with you?
Yeah, I do. And so I think it's really good to do that because if you're not in a place where you can write music right away, but you're really emotional, then it's good to like write that down. Yeah, you can vent it and then you can go back to it.
Interesting.
So I'll do that, and then I'll either write something on guitar or piano, or and then I'll take that to maybe like a producer and we'll work on it together. Or sometimes I'll just set up sessions with producers. I think in the pop realm that's a lot more common. To set up a session with a producer, especially in LA. That's like super, super common. And then I can either take that song to the producer and we write it together and like make it a beautiful pop hit.
How long does it take?
Not that long, honestly. Like it'll take like a day.
No, I mean like from start, like a day. No, I mean like
what do you mean?
From when you like are starting to write the song, to like being like, this is one I actually want to produce, to like getting it out there, finding like the cover art, doing all that stuff, to dropping
it. If I write the song myself, it won't take me long. It's usually because I'm really inspired or like really sad. So in that case, it just flows out. Okay. And I'll write something and I'll record it. But I'll like record it like on my laptop, not in the best version, like super demoed out. And then I'll just go to producer. Like honestly, it takes like 2 moments, like 2 sessions.
2 big chunks.
Me writing the song, me writing it, reproducing it with somebody else. But honestly, it's like that first session is like the guts of it. That's where you get most of the ideas and everything. Gotcha. And then after that, you can fine tune it, like come up with like little details to make it more magical. But it's really that first session where like you get the heart of what the song is gonna be.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And was your newest song something that you had like worked on in, like a long time ago, and like was something about feelings a long time ago, or was it just like instant new, make it?
It was definitely like I had this moment, and then I already had a session set up. Okay. That week, so it was kind of perfect. Like I'll tell you a little bit about Turn on the Lights. Yeah. That song, I had just played a show at the Echo. Okay. And it was amazing, and it was sold out.
So fun.
Yeah, it was so magical, and I felt on cloud 9. The crowd loved it and was so supportive, and it was just like a dream show. Yeah. And then at the end of the night, you know, after everybody left, I kind of found myself alone.
Jeez,
and
so funny.
It was crazy to feel so much love and support, and then all of a sudden like the venue lights are being turned off, everyone's going home, and then I'm like carrying my stuff to my car, and I'm like, you know, I'm alone. And
which is like reality.
It's so reality. Like at the end of the night you go home alone, and like it was just such a contrast to go from like that high to like this low.
And you're like, hello?
And I was like, what the hell? I'm lonely. And it's hard because, like, I think as a female artist, a lot of the time there's a lot of pressure to be, like, you know, really strong. And I think, like, there's a certain idea of what it means to be strong. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's saying things like, I don't need a man, or I don't need anybody but myself. 100%. Like, I don't, you know, things like that. But the truth is that it's okay to be vulnerable, and
I love that.
It's okay to be lonely, and I think that there's strength in being vulnerable enough to say that too and admit that. Mm-hmm. So
it's
I did
also
that.
relatable because I just feel like, and the whole point of like doing these videos and the reason why like I connected with you so well is that you weren't like, oh hey, like I just, you know, I tour the world and I sing all the time and like everything works out. You were like, no, it's hard work. Yeah. It like you go through ups, you go through downs, like it's normal. And it's true. I feel like that's the side that people need to see, that it's not just like an uphill climb.
Yeah, it's definitely not. But it's also good that it's not, because it's what makes you who you are, mm-hmm. and it's what makes you strive to continue the uphill climb.
Exactly, because you would look for that feeling again from being up there at the top, and so it's like it's the hunt for that.
And it makes you feel so proud of yourself when you achieve something that you strive for, because you didn't just get it. You worked really hard for it.
It's also a wake-up call, and I was like thinking about this a lot lately, about how it's that whole idea of like, okay, when I do this, I'm going to be like so happy. Once I get this, once I gain like this amount of success, I'll never be sad again. But the reality is that all these like super successful people feel lonely, feel sad, feel like insecure all the time. Yeah. So you have to like build that for yourself, like disassociating from your success. Like, happiness and success is so different from each other.
It's so true.
And so it's like not thinking like, okay, once I like, you know, perform at the Echo, I'll like never be sad again. Like, the reality is you will. And so
immediately after you
No, but that happened to me. I remember I think I was like 17, and I was like, once I have my first art show, like, I'm an artist, no one can stop me, I'll never be sad again, like all this stuff. And then like I had the art show, and then I came home and I was like, okay, like, now what, right? It's so true.
It's true. So I basically bottled all of that up, and then I went into the session, and I was working with these two producers who I really love, and we just get along so well, and it was really easy to be vulnerable with them. And then I also worked with a different writer who's also my good friend, and we all just got in the room, all four of us, and I basically told them what happened. And we just went for it, and it was so organic. I think we came up with the song in like 3 hours.
That's wild.
Like, something like that's pretty crazy.
It's so like fresh in your head.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
And the chorus was me literally, it's like kind of crazy to think about, but it was kind of a dance move.
The chorus?
Like, I came up with the chorus for Turn on the Lights as a dance move, and then the lyrics kind of just came.
Oh my God. Can you do it?
It was basically like, so we had the beat, right?
Okay.
And I was like, yes, I'm feeling this beat, and I was like literally going this, and I was like, I want to turn on the lights when I'm looking at you. I want to turn on the lights, come on baby, be true. And then it was just like, it just came.
And then they were like, they were like, just do it again.
And it was just like perfect.
I love that.
Yeah, and so it was really great, but I think for me, music has always been like a form of therapy, and that's kind of why all of my first music was really sad.
Yeah.
Because it's like what I use to vent, and when I'm done venting, it feels good, like I let it go.
Yeah.
So, like, after writing this song, I really did feel like, okay, I can let go and move on and be my best badass self.
I love that. I feel like everyone needs to find that thing that they can put all their like pent up energy towards to create something like beautiful and to like release it that way. Because like, you know, sometimes I'm like, I have all these feelings, all this whatever, and then it's not until like I write it out, paint it out, dance it out, or whatever, that I'm like, oh God, thank God.
Everyone needs some sort of creative expression. That's why it's so important.
100%. Well, another thing I want to talk about that you kind of brought up on the call with me, and I remember being like, oh my God, I'm writing this down, because it's like so important and so true, is that you talk about like the importance of being like a jack of all trades. And you said that you started like not being like, oh, I'm going to be a singer, or like I'm going to be a DJ, but you were like, you started behind the scenes and like learning things and educating yourself on like how, you know, this industry works and stuff like that. And so I don't know if you want to talk more about that.
Yeah, so I remember talking about that with you, and I think it's super important for women to, in order to empower yourself, like, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And with me, it was definitely really difficult for me when I decided to take on Disco Shrine and do it full force, because I was brand new. Like, I didn't know everything. I didn't know how to produce music. I didn't know, you know, technical terms. I didn't know like how to get shows and how to do all of this, and it's really scary and intimidating, and it's also scary to ask. 100%. It's like super scary to be like, I don't know, what should I do? And it's easy to make a lot of mistakes. So for me, like, I was really fortunate enough to have people there that I could reach out to who did help me along the way and gave me pieces of information from different people. And, you know, that really helped me when I was first starting out. So now that I'm at a place where I can give that or share that information, I am so not greedy when it comes to information. Like, I always tell people, like, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know if you need any advice. And I know there was one person who I really love, and she's still in my life today. When she was first starting, we had coffee, and I gave her, she basically just asked me everything, and I was like, I'm an open book, I'll give you everything, contacts. So nice. I think the biggest thing is sometimes people get greedy with information because maybe there's a sense of like competition.
100%, yeah.
Or like they don't want to share their contacts because it's their contacts, like they worked hard for it. But the truth of the matter is that like there's enough for everybody. Mm-hmm. Like we can all be successful and we can all work hard at it, and it doesn't need to be a competition, especially between women. We're already pitted against each other in so many ways.
So true.
So for us to also pit each other against each other is just like what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, why?
And it is, the sad part about that is, like, when people are holding in information, like, I get it, like, not to give, I'm not asking for everyone to, like, you know, give out their deepest, darkest secrets, whatever, but, like, helping each other out, because one of the biggest reasons that stopped me early on from, like, pretty much doing anything in, like, business, mainly business, and, like, in art, was because I felt like I didn't know, and I felt like because I didn't know things that I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because it's, like, the information's all accessible. There's people out there that want to help you, and luckily, you know, like you did, like, I found a few people in my life who were like, here, come, like, I'll show you how to get into this art show, or here, like, I'll show you how to make a website, and it's, like, those are the people who probably are going to be more successful in the end because they're giving rather than, like, withholding it.
That's the thing, is it helps you in the end, because then you guys can grow together.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being like, this is my castle.
Yeah.
And
you do things like this, like, right? So, like, I found you on social media, and other people could be like, okay, cool, bye. But we're like, let's make something cool. Let's share your story. You know, by helping each other out, you're growing and you're getting bigger anyway.
It's so true. Like, when I DJ, I always get girls coming up to me being like, oh my gosh, it's so cool that you DJ. Like, I've always wanted to DJ. And I always tell them, do it. Like,
I get that same thing.
Oh, sorry. The thing is that the hardest part of doing something is, like, that is doing it. But does that make sense?
100%.
It's like the first step, and then once you're doing it, you're like, wait, this is not scary. Yeah. Like, this is actually not scary.
And it, like, spirals out of control, because it's like, once you break that initial, like, holy shit, I just did that. Yeah. Then you're, like, doing it again and doing it again. And then at one point you're looking back and you're like, wait, how did I do all of that?
Yeah. Then all of a sudden you're teaching people and you're like, I know what I'm doing.
Something I heard one time and it, like, totally stuck with me. Yeah. Is that as people, like, we admire and look up to people that, like, do it. And, like, do what I mean, like, you know, like, follow their dreams, like, fucking quit their job and go at it. Like, we admire that, and we, like, bow down, we're like, that's so cool. Yeah. But we're so insecure to do it ourselves because we worry that people are gonna, like, look down at us. But then if you take a really big step back, like, we're only looking up to them and thinking that's so cool. Yeah. So people would think that about ourselves. And I remember someone telling me that one time, and I was like, okay, so if I do XYZ, like, if I, like, you know, like, follow my dreams and, like, pursue my passions, more people than I think are gonna be like, wait, that's really cool. Yeah. And it's true. Ever since I started, I'm sure there's hate, but I hear more of the, like, wow, that's awesome, than the otherwise.
It's so true. I feel like there's a fear of failure, but you're not even going to be able to fail if you don't try.
As you're saying it, you're like, you know, try.
Like, failure is cool, you know?
It's also, like, only fail. Like, even today, this is so honest and real. I was like, this could be a disaster. I was like, you know, like, we could, like, the mics won't work, or, like, I don't know, the place is kind of weird, or, like, maybe it's, like, awkward. Like, this is all these things I thought. But I was like, why not go in it? Like, who cares what happens? No expectations. If I fail, right, like, it's not a fail, but if I fail, I'll learn, and the next one will be better. Yeah. So if I go in it that way, or if you go in, like, with anything that way, then you're not going to feel that pressure to be, like, succeed all the time.
It's you know so true, yeah. I feel like it's a high, and, like, once you start just putting yourself out there and telling yourself that you can do it, like, you want to try everything.
You get addicted.
And then the world, like, it's, like, limitless. Like, you want to do everything. Like, I always tell people, I used to be a tutor.
You're like, if this is why I sound like this.
I know. No. I was a motivational coach. I'm just kidding. But literally, we could all do anything. It's just a matter of how much work we put into it. And some people, you have to work a little bit harder for certain things. Totally. But we could all do whatever we want. So the sky is the limit. Yeah.
I love that.
I always tell people, and I have to tell myself this too, like, you just gotta, like, fake it till you make it.
Oh, yes.
And I think that people don't realize that most people that are doing something are faking it till they're making it.
And are probably, like, insecure and nervous as hell.
Yeah, but if you just keep being like, I know what I'm doing, you're gonna wake up one day and you're gonna know what you're doing. And it's not gonna be fake.
Because
it's
gonna
be real.
Your brain.
Yeah.
The more you say it, the more you do things, like, confirming the fact that, like, you know what you're doing. You end up knowing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I totally believe in that.
So, I mean, I think it's beautiful. I think we should all support each other, and it's just so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did the switch from like you said that you worked in like festivals and like doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
What was like the thing that triggered you to be like, okay, I'm gonna do it myself? Other than like finding your name and all that stuff, but was it like, you know what, like I'm gonna put myself out there, I'm gonna do it?
Yeah. Well, after college, so I was always behind the scenes in events and in music. Like, I always helped throw festivals, and I was the little intern on the side that was like, oh my gosh, like, you're my favorite band, and like hustling and like, you know, just doing all of the things because I loved it.
And at the time, did you think like, this is what I'll be? Like, I'll be the intern to the cool person? Like, were you thinking that? Or were you always like, I'm gonna get to there one day?
I think what happened was that I was so inspired by the people I was around because they were creatives. Mm-hmm. Like, they were musicians, they were artists, they were people that could make ginormous sculptures out of nothing. And I was just like, I love this creative community, and I want to be a part of it, and I want to contribute to it. And I think by surrounding myself with those people, I just inherently was like, I'm going to pick up a guitar, I'm going to pick up a banjo, I'm going to learn to do things. And don't get me wrong, it's still 5,000% scary because you look up to these people and you want to do what they're doing, but it seems so far away. Yeah. But I did it. I mean, I picked up the guitar and I started making music, and after a while I realized this is my form of expression. Like, I tried a little bit. It clicked, yeah. I did try a little bit of everything. I tried photography, tried graphic design, I tried like a bunch painting. And
tutoring.
I realized I was not good at a lot of things. But the one thing that I really loved and I stuck with was music. And so as I got older, I kind of still did the event stuff, but after I graduated from college, I was like, you know, I could go and do the event stuff, like the 9 to 5, and you know, it'll
more
pay
tangible,
well.
Yeah,
but in my heart, I knew that I wanted to take music more seriously and give it a chance, because all throughout just my childhood, I was always going to school, and like school would take up so much time, and then when it was summertime, I would just do music full force, and that's when I was the happiest. So after college, I decided to do music full time, and it took me a little bit of a moment to...
What was that moment? Because I feel like everyone has, I even have had that, like, okay, you're like maybe gonna go back to doing like the more traditional, or like maybe you're gonna like ignore your dreams for a little bit. Like, what was that exactly like though?
Yeah, so...
You're like, yeah, so I don't want to go there.
I don't want to remember those moments. Yeah, I think what it was that I did start off doing music, and then I got a job at a publicity company doing like film and television publicity, and it was 9 to 5, and it was crazy because it was the kind of job where they tell you that you're lucky to like work here because everyone wants this job, you know, like the kind of like devil wears Prada kind of a job. And the whole time I was there, I was working behind the scenes, red carpets for like A-list celebrities and things that people would dream of doing. And the whole time I was like, you know, like, this is amazing that I'm supporting these other artists, but it just made me so sad. Yeah,
because I want to be on the red carpet.
I would see so many people following their dreams, and I was not. And I really felt it. Like, I really, really felt that I wasn't doing what was meant to be, like what I could do. Yeah. And so I decided to leave, and it took me a little bit of a while to, like, understand exactly what I wanted to do, and I took some time to figure out what I wanted my sound to be like. And in that time, I ended up randomly starting to DJ. It was super random. Like, a friend of mine asked me to help throw his release party, and I helped throw his album release party, and he was like, oh, you should DJ. And I said yes, not knowing how to DJ at all. And I basically bought dinner for my friend for like a week and just went over his house, and he would teach me. And
so fun.
Yeah, and since then, so it's all kind of random, but since then I started DJing, and DJing really I spent like a year just like exploring and figuring out and writing music and DJing and traveling. And after that, I was like, all right, I'm ready for Disco Shrine to take full force. And now Disco Shrine is my artist project, and then I also DJ under Disco Shrine. And
that's so fun.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Do you like one better than the other, or
DJing? Or obviously performing my own music. I love making music.
Do you like mixing your own songs when you DJ?
I do sometimes.
You're like, wow, this is really good. Does anyone know who this is?
The other day I was DJing and I did that, but I always get like a little shy. Yeah. But then my friend was like, I know this song, and I was like, I know.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's what you can do. It's like a tactic. You like DJ your songs everywhere, and then everyone's like jamming to this one song.
I know. It's fun. I always feel a little like sneaky or like guilty when I do it, but
you like look down as you DJ.
Yeah, or I'll like look around and I'll be like, who's dancing?
Yeah.
Like
who's not dancing?
Yeah, who's not dancing? They're on my hit list.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But definitely, like, making music. I love my own music. Is that narcissistic? Sorry. I feel like anyone would say that. But I love DJing, too, because I feel like it fills, like, a different part of me. The part that, like, loves getting people dancing. And, like, the whole reason why I started Disco Shine was because I wanted to make people happy with my music. And I wanted to make myself happy with the music. And DJing is exactly that.
Yeah.
Like, you're responsible for starting the party and keeping the party going. And
I feel like your personality is perfect for that.
Thank you.
Even just, like, the couple times we've hung out before this, it's just, like, you have this, like, super bubbly, like you said. Like, but it's welcoming, right? Like, there's, like, intimidating, which, you know, it's good to be intimidating, but, like, there's, like, people that you think are, like, really exciting and cool that you kind of get nervous to be around. But with you, you radiate what you believe in. Like, you're very welcoming. Like, people are drawn to you. No, seriously. Like,
I want that.
I felt drawn to you. I feel like I've known you for so long. Even when we've, like, you came over, all this stuff, it's natural, which is good.
I love that because I've never been the cool girl. Like, in school, I was a complete nerd. Like, I got made fun of a lot. Like, it took me a while to get it, you know, to figure myself out. But I feel like it's just, like, it's like a confidence thing, and like if we're all there for each other and warm, like you want to surround yourself with those kind of people, and like those are the kind of people that you want to be with. And I've never been one to be like, I'm trying to be
I'm
cool.
Too cool for you.
Yeah,
which
like
I love, because everyone out there is like that nowadays. You know?
Yeah, no, I can't.
So I like to ask every creative that I interview what their favorite, like, I like to call it the Art BISH moment. So it's like their proudest moment, best moment, like moment you were like, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, like that kind of thing. Do you have one?
Yes. So I think my best Art BISH moment was last year, actually. And I set up something that I've always wanted to do, which I haven't, is go on like a tour.
Okay.
I've done a lot of DJ tours where like you fly out and you play music shows and then you come back, and those are so amazing. But you know, I always see all my friends and they're on bands. Like
you want the whole thing.
Yeah, and also like when I DJ, I'm not necessarily playing my own songs.
Yeah.
And so something I did last year was I set up a tour for myself, and it was crazy, and I didn't think I'd be able to do it, but I was able to mix in live shows and DJ shows.
So fucking cool.
So it was kind of great, because something I always hear about is people, all my friends, like losing money on tour. Like you don't make money on tour. You kind of end up like losing a bunch of money because you got to pay for photographers and traveling and gas and all that stuff. But I was able to set it up, and it was a crazy tour. I did Santa Monica Pier in LA. I did San Francisco with
all yourself. You like did this all yourself.
In San Francisco I played with like Win Butler of Arcade Fire, which was like he's so like literally like a dream icon. Like I look up to him so much, and I was able to play with him. And then I did a few shows in New York and Chicago and DC. And it was amazing, and it was like so hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was like so difficult because I did it all by myself, and I was traveling alone, and every city, it was like I had different bands playing with me in different cities, and it was kind of a lot. But I'm really proud of myself because it was always something I wanted to do, and I didn't really know how to do it or think that I could do it, but I made it happen.
I fucking love that.
Yeah, and like I didn't go broke because I had the DJing that supplemented it.
So smart.
I don't know, that was like definitely like a moment where I got home from like 2 weeks of like a lot of hard work, and I was like, that was hard, but like I'm so proud of myself.
I love that. So like if there's a will, there's a way. Like you, again, that same idea. Like you didn't know how to do it. You like weren't sure if you could do it, but you did it, and then 2 weeks later you're like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. I was like, I'm gonna sleep for like 10 days.
Yes.
But hell yeah.
Yeah, and it probably like built so much confidence in yourself, because you're like, if I can do that, my next tour is gonna be like, you know, a month and in a different country.
Definitely.
That's so amazing.
And like it was really amazing.
I love it. Well, thanks for letting me interview you.
Thank you so much for interviewing me. You're amazing. I feel like you're like a sister. We just instantly clicked, and
I 100% believe that we were like meant to meet
each
other.
Meant to be. I love everything that you're about, and I just feel so awesome and grateful that you reached out to me to talk.
Thank you for coming. I don't want to end them.